Hi, welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. This is episode 28. Unlock your shadow side with shadow work. Yeah, you're going to hear the word shadow a lot in this episode. The term shadow work originates from the analytical psychology theories of Carl Jung, who was an early mid-20th century Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst. And he believed in the process of integrating our shadow aspects into our conscious awareness, and that is crucial to the process of what he termed individuation, which is the realization of one's true self. So, question, do we all have a shadow side? Well, yes. Yes, we do. It's a natural part of being human. And it involves traits that are often developed in childhood as a way to adapt to society's expectations or to cope with difficult experiences. So doing shadow work is exploring your shadow side. And the work involves diving into and becoming consciously aware and then integrating aspects of ourselves that we tend to deny or ignore. So our shadow side consists of dark and hidden aspects of our personality and our psyche that we don't readily acknowledge. And we may even view these aspects as uncomfortable or even undesirable and repulsive. So the shadow work, or just the term shadow work, as I mentioned, it's a psychological term, and it refers to confronting and working through the contents of our shadow side. So what are these contents of our shadow side? Well, it would be aspects that could be certain traits of our personality, including things like aggression, lack of empathy, impulsivity, jealousy, selfishness, deceitfulness, and narcissism. Or also unconscious biases or limiting beliefs that we may hold. Those are parts of our personality traits. And then the next part of our shadow side would have to do with our behaviors. So projection, placing blame on others instead of taking responsibility, self-sabotage, defensiveness, manipulation, passive aggressiveness, overcompensation, addictive behaviors, isolation, overcompensation, and or blame shifting. These are all behaviors that are involved with our shadow side. And then there's our unacknowledged emotions, such as anger, fear, shame, sadness, insecurities. So the shadow work is done to gain self-awareness and heal past wounds and cultivate personal growth. And then you can gain valuable insights about yourself as you go on this journey of self-discovery and acceptance. And this ultimately leads to peace and authenticity. But ignoring or suppressing these shadow side of yourself can lead to inner conflict. It limits your personal growth and dissatisfaction from a lack of fulfillment. So how do we know if we need to do shadow work? Well, these are some things you might be dealing with. You might feel stuck or limited in some way. You might notice life patterns that repeat through your job, through your employment, or through relationships with others. You may sense that you're carrying unresolved emotions or conflicts. You may struggle with repeated behaviors that exhibit self-sabotage. Or you may feel disconnected from certain aspects of yourself. So if you're feeling any of those things, you may also notice these type of things. This is the shadow side characteristics. Number one, of repressed emotions, feelings that we deny, such as anger, jealousy, or shame. Number two, unconscious habits, patterns that we may be unaware of that may lead to self-sabotage or repeated harmful behaviors. Number three, projection, blaming others for qualities or behaviors that we actually dislike in ourselves. Number 4, insecurities, deep-seated doubts or fear about our worthiness, our competence, or our lovability. Number 5, negative self-talk. That's the inner dialogue that we use with ourselves. It's critical, it's self-judgmental, or even self-deprecating, which means making fun of yourself, talking yourself down, not just in a joking way, but very disparaging remarks about ourselves. Number 6, unfulfilled desires, having aspirations that are suppressed due to fear of failure, rejection, or judgment. And number 7, unresolved wounds and trauma can also be shadow side characteristics, where past experiences continue to impact our thoughts and our emotions and behaviors, often without being consciously aware. So, where to begin to do the shadow work? Well, here's a few key points and factors about doing shadow work. It's not a one session and done type of process. It's continuous, and the duration can vary widely, partly based on the individual's intensity of the issues that they're facing, the approaches that are used, and the willingness of the individual to confront uncomfortable truths. But just knowing those things, keep these other things in mind. To do the shadow work, you're going to need a great amount of self-awareness. Being able to notice patterns or recurring themes in your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors. Reflection, journaling, and mindfulness also. And as you're doing the self-awareness, you may begin to identify triggers. So pay attention to these patterns, and in situations or interactions that are bringing out a strong emotional reaction, let's say, that could be a trigger. And that may be a clue to underlying shadow work is needed. Also, exploring your past, reflecting on your childhood experiences and significant life events. And a lot of this self-awareness and exploring can be done through journaling. I do sometimes just a freestyle journaling where I don't have a specific thing I'm intending to write about. I just get my journal out and I start writing, and I'm very surprised at times at what comes out. And I'm kind of just free-floating, free-writing, letting, as my thoughts come up, I'm just letting it flow through the pen and onto the page, and you'd be surprised at what comes out. But if you're not sure, where to begin, try one of these prompts, or try a couple of them. So ask yourself this question, write it at the top of the page in your journal, and then begin to write what you feel. But so here's some prompts. The first one would be, what am I avoiding? Here's another one. What makes me uncomfortable? How about, what is difficult to acknowledge? These are tough questions. Here's another. Can I recall any past experiences that evoke discomfort or shame? So if you find that this is a tool that helps you kind of work through these shadow aspects of yourself, I would highly encourage you to use it regularly. Once a day if you can, even if it's just a few minutes. But journaling is a great tool for self-reflection. So, as mentioned in every episode, please seek feedback and help from others, trusted friends and family, to help get their input on what your strengths and weaknesses are. As you're going through this process, practice self-compassion, and it is a process of growth and self-acceptance. So use non-judgmental self-talk. Use kindness and compassion with yourself. Set boundaries if needed as you're working through these shadow aspects, and cultivate gratitude and the practice of mindfulness. Consider therapy to help you work through your shadow side. Therapists or counselors, of course, can provide valuable support and guidance, and there's many different types of therapies out there to choose from, but A lot of these unconscious, deep-seated shadow aspects of ourselves are pretty complicated and will require a lot of time and attention. That doesn't mean spending all day, every day, delving into your shadow side. But as you're led to, and as you feel it's needed, maybe create a plan, create a strategy. Even if it's just, I'm going to spend 30 minutes a day journaling or talking to others, just kind of chip away at it. It's everything I talk about on this channel, I end up saying it takes a lot of time. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth of the matter is this whole thing we're calling the healing journey here. I've been at it for, oh my goodness, 15 years, 13, 14, maybe 15 years now. And still learning, still growing, still healing, still plugging away. But as I do and I take these steps forward, I gain more wisdom, I gain more strength, my heart is healed, my mind is healed, my spirit is fed, and that's kind of the fire within me, the driving force. So I take good care of it, and I nurture it, and I do what I need to do to become a better version of myself every day. So this is my lesson for today on using shadow work to unlock your shadow side. And I thank you for joining me. I hope you're doing well out there. Happy spring, everybody. I'll see you again soon, so take good care. Bye for now.